Okay, welcome everybody. We are so pleased that you've made this first step to be here. So that is fantastic. Thank you very much for joining us in Zoom land for our DofE information evening. It's really great, like I said, that you've made this first step to find out more about it. And hopefully by the end of this session, which should only really take us about half an hour to really tell you all about it, you should be all clued up on exactly what DofE is all about and about what path into DofE is right for you. And hopefully you'll be all excited and you'll know exactly what you need to do, and you can make the first steps to get signed up and start your DofE journey. Amanda is joining me today. Amanda is our Chief DofE leader in Southampton City. And Amanda, do you want to introduce a bit more about yourself?
Hello, I'm Amanda. I'm an Explorer leader down in Phoenix as well, in Millbrook. I'm a DofE assessor. I think I've been about 6 years now. So I've got to learn a lot about the DofE and all sorts of questions and answers. Hopefully there's not too many I haven't heard. And I'm always very keen to hear from people, particularly on email or face-to-face with different queries, problems, or can you just sign off this section? That's the one I really like. And the one I like even more than that is, can you sign off my award? It's great to see young people getting enthusiastic about the award and achieving their bronze, silver and gold.
Super. And I'm just a leader, but I get involved as well and try and support Amanda in allowing our young people to achieve their awards. So between us, we get everything organised and sorted, don't we?
Yep, and there's a few other leaders within the Explorer and Scouting leadership team who also come and lend a hand, because not only does the DofE awards standalone awards, they also start you off on your journey for your Diamond and Platinum and eventually the Queen Scout Award. So by doing your Bronze, Silver and Gold DofE, you've done the majority of your work for your higher Scout or Top Scout Awards. So this is where you need to be doing lots and lots of exciting activities.
Super. I know we're going to talk a bit more about how DofE relates to the Top Scouting Awards as well as part of today's session, so stay tuned for that. Okay, so should we start off by finding out what DofE is all about? So if you've never done DofE before, and some of you won't have, some of you would have done your Bronze Award last year or previously with school, and you might be jumping into a different level, but for some people watching, you might just be this might be the first opportunity to find out what DofE is. So DofE is a life-changing adventure that you don't want to miss. It's about going that extra mile, learning new skills for work and life, getting fitter, making a difference and broadening your horizon. And you know what, if you're the kind of person that's going to Explorers anyway, then you're already that kind of person that likes to do more and go beyond what you're normally doing at school and at home. And millions of young people all across the UK have already done their DofE, and now's your opportunity to do it as well. So DofE is an award which you can get at 3 levels, bronze, silver and gold. And before we go any further, we just want to let you know that by completing your DofE, you're also completing a big chunk of the top awards that you can get as a young person in scouting. If you were a Beaver, a Cub or a Scout, you may have got your Chief Scout Awards. And at Explorer level, you can also get your Chief Scout Awards, and they are Platinum and Diamond. Amanda, did you want to take over and just explain, once young people get their DofE award, they also can achieve these?
So we're looking at the Diamond Award at the moment. So that is pretty much your Bronze Duke of Edinburgh Award plus a couple of extra bits, and that is listed down there. So you've got to do a few what's called ICVs, International Community Values, and there is a big list. You should have a list up in your meeting hut. If not, it can be found online. Always links to something online. And that's really the basis of our Explorer program. So by achieving your bronze DofE award, you're pretty much there for your diamond award.
Super.
Yeah.
So those of you that have got your bronze award or will get your bronze award in the next year, then just with a little bit of extra work, you'll be able to achieve that platinum award as well. And then the one next to it is diamond, correct?
Sorry, yeah, I'll skip from one to the other, yeah.
And what do you need to do to get your diamond award, Amanda?
Okay, this is one of the things that I sometimes lose the plot with, so I'll have to look it up. I know there's just a couple of extra bits for each extra awards from your ICV list. I always have to look it up for our young people once they've got their bronze award. I said,
but it's like you say, it looks like some of these things are things that you will get as long as you're attending Explorers regularly. So we can see here that you need to be a Explorer Scout for at least a year, have 12 nights away, and then, like you say, complete a few activities from the International Communities and Values list. And then if you've got your silver award, then that's it. Then you've achieved that too. So not only are we talking about DofE tonight, but you guys get the opportunity of earning 2 awards, your DofE and your Chief Scout Gold Award, which are some top awards that you can get in scouting. Are we ready to move on?
Yep.
Super. So that's what we're talking about tonight. This is what that's our goal, is what you can achieve, those 2 awards. So to better explain what DofE is, we have a video here. It's a quick 1-minute video, and this is focused on the bronze award because most of you will be achieving bronze, but you can easily apply this to silver as well. But with silver, you'll be doing an extra night in your expedition, and your skills and your volunteering and your physical activity will be slightly longer, but the general program idea is the same. So let's find out a bit more about what DofE involves.
Hey, I'm Elle, and you lot sat there are basically me a couple of years ago. I've just finished my gold, but when I first started my bronze, I had no idea what to expect. Back then, I didn't know how it all worked, but I reckon I could do a good job of telling you now. So here goes. So for your bronze award, you have to choose an activity, each of the 4 sections: physical, skills, volunteering, and then your expedition. You might already be doing an activity that counts, or you can choose to try something new.
For my physical, I chose to improve my rowing, but you can choose from a whole load of other activities like these guys.
I play rugby.
We played badminton.
I played football. Anyway, then you get to volunteer. There's so many ways you can make a difference here, and you'll get to meet some incredible people. And then for my skill, I joined my skills debate. You can pretty much do any skill you want, if your leader approves. My mates ended up doing all sorts, like acting, learning Latin, singing, and you get to do a really fun 2-day expedition, exploring some amazing scenery like this.
Okay, so that's DofE in a nutshell. Would you like to talk about this slide, Amanda?
Yeah, can I just go back to a couple of things they mentioned in the video and a couple of pictures that may be slightly misleading. They show quite a few young people in school uniforms, but you've got to be very clear with anything that you're doing needs to be extracurricular. So although it could be an after-school club, it can't be something you do as part of the national curriculum. So if you play football because you're doing GCSE sport, that's part of your normal education, so you can't count that. But if you do an after-school club, which is football, you can count it. So don't be confused with the fact that there are people doing things in their uniforms. Whatever you do needs to be outside of normal school hours. That's quite useful with that. And And there's another thing as well that I just picked up on. The young lady that was talking said about getting your plans approved. And occasionally our explorers forget to do this and they plough on through, and then we're asked to sign it off, and we realise that actually what they're doing doesn't actually fit the criteria. So once you've signed up for DofE, make sure that you put your plans in good and early, and then we can look at them, and literally over the internet we can just say yes, that plan is good, or we might even ask you to adjust it a little bit. But there's lists and lists of things you can do. Again, just put a search engine in of what can I do for my skill or my volunteering, and there's a whole list that will come up.
Yeah, there's some great lists on the DofE website, and we've got an email address where you can contact us directly if you're ever unsure about anything. You can always send an email, we'll get back to you. And your explorer leader, your scout leaders, also a great fountain of knowledge if you're looking for ideas.
Yep, so this one, it clearly says what you need to do for each level. So bronze, if you're starting there, you need to do your 3 months of volunteering, 3 months of physical, 3 months of skill, and then plus another 3 months of one of those which you can choose. So and then your expedition. So the award can be done in as little as 6 months, which is amazing. The expeditions is something that, as an explorer unit, we focus on organising the expedition part of the DofE award, but we will also support you in the rest of them. Yeah. Expeditions, the expedition season is literally finishing end of October, so the earliest you can do it again is March, but by March you can have most of the rest of it done. So expedition can be your last bit to tick off, and award complete. As easy as that.
So to summarize, what we're asking you to do is to sign up as soon as you can, and you can start your volunteering, your physical choice, your skills choice straight away, and then we will organize the expedition for you, which will come in the spring, and hopefully the expedition will be the last thing you need to do. So by the time you get to the summer, you'll have everything done and you'll be able to achieve your award before the summer holidays. So our goal is for everyone to get their DofE award during this academic year. But the sooner you sign up, the sooner you can get started with the volunteering, physical and skills. And don't forget to contact us so we can sort of approve and say that yes, what you've chosen for volunteering, physical and skill is appropriate. And just to recap what you were saying there, Amanda, is are you right saying that you choose either volunteering, physical or skill? You pick your favorite one to do an extra 3 months of.
Yep, that's right. So for example, skills, often young people, if they're learning a musical instrument, you're doing that anyway. So if you're going to continue that, you set yourself some more goals and say, well, I'm going to move from this grade to the next grade. And
because that's extracurricular, isn't it? That's not
absolutely. Yeah, it's choice. So moving on to the silver award. Occasionally people sort of think, well, I can skip bronze, I'll just move straight on to silver. Yes, you can, but when you're at silver level, as leaders, we expect you to do a little bit more and to be understanding the DofE program, and have some get up and go and actually organising a lot of the expedition yourselves at silver level. Bronze, we tend to hold your hand a little bit more, figuratively speaking. So the temptation to jump to silver is a lot sometimes, but I would advise going through the bronze just to really learn the system, and then you're fully fledged to do something really exciting with silver.
And let's be honest, most schools will just do bronze. So up until GCSE, so up until you're 16, most schools would just do bronze, and they would then, and it's mainly the colleges or sixth form that will tackle silver. So just because you can do silver in year 10 doesn't mean you necessarily should. Yeah, I totally agree with you. It's best starting with bronze, even if you're in year 10 or 11, and then work towards silver when you're at the second half of being an explorer. Would be a general feeling. Unless you're feeling super confident, then yeah, bronze is the best way to start.
Yeah. So, and also with all of these awards, bronze, silver and gold level, you've got until you're 25 years old, which is pretty old really, to finish these awards. And they just sort of sit around sometimes for years and years and years, and people do absolutely nothing with them. And then suddenly it's like, oh, 24 years old. Oh gosh, I better finish that award. And I've just had 2 of our ex-explorers who've coming up to their 25th birthday, actually just completed their gold award. And they started their awards when they were 14. And if you think, well, I must finish it before I go to uni, you don't need to, but if you want to have your account transferred to a different provider, maybe you've moved up north for university, you can get your account moved up to a different provider if that suits you.
Cool. So we've got plenty of time to finish once you start.
Yeah.
But what we're saying is you can do it in the year, and we would love as many people to do it within the year. So just looking at an example, so imagine I'm 14 or 15 or 16 and I want to do my bronze DofE. For volunteering, there's a whole heap of different things that you could do in Southampton. One that we would say is the not easiest, but what we would highly recommend if you're involved in Scouts would be to volunteer at a beaver cub or scout group. That's a great way to volunteer and enjoy yourself. And we know that a lot of our explorers already do that as part of the Young Leader program. So if you are a young leader, you're already doing part of your DofE. So why not use that? And we know loads of beaver cub and scout groups that would love your support. So volunteering, we can easily hook you up with a scout group. There are other opportunities in the city, or you can go and find out some more yourself. We know that Park Run has been very popular in the past because they're always looking for volunteers too. For physical, there's of course lots of sports that you can do. Again, you could go running. Park Run's also a very popular choice there. For skills, we can also help find you some links for skills. There's lots of first aid courses that are run by Hampshire Scouts. That's always popular too. So find something that you're going to enjoy and you're going to get a lot out of, but always know that you can contact us if you are stuck trying to find out. And then those main differences between bronze and silver is your commitment is longer. So the volunteering has to be 6 months for bronze, and then you choose either physical or skills to do for a further 3 months as well. And your expedition, which we will help organise for you, that's all set up. You do 2 nights instead of just 1 night, and you're hiking for 3 days instead of 2 days.
Right, so interestingly, Lucas said you're hiking at an expedition.
Oh, I see. Sorry, bad choice of words.
Oh, no, that's very interesting. And the bronze expedition that we will help you organise will be a hike by foot. You can also do expeditions by kayak, sailing, canoes, horseback, bicycling, or wheelchair if you're a wheelchair user or is a team with a wheelchair user. So as much as we organise the bronze expedition, if anybody is really dead keen with canoeing, we've got guys down at the Enterprise who have got canoe permits and they're desperately trying to get their sailing permits as well. We can support expeditions in other forms of transport. And that's actually really quite interesting. If you start with your bronze at hiking, do something different for your silver. It's all about trying new things. You might find your new passion in life is canoeing if you've never tried it before. Again, I had the chap that I signed off his gold DofE a couple of weeks ago. He did the expedition by sailboat, never sailed before, learnt something new, realised that probably wasn't for him, probably never sail again. But he was really pleased that he tried something completely different.
All right, great. There's lots of different ways you can make it your own. Right, should we move on then? So I think we've covered this a little bit already, but let's just break down what those different sections are that you need to complete for your DofE. So the volunteering section is all about taking action in your community. Find a cause that means something to you. We think lots of you will probably choose the young leader option, but it is up to you. But you could also coach a local football team. You can give up your time in lots of ways, and you'll find that volunteering is extremely rewarding, and it also gives you work experience as well. For physical, you are choosing something to focus on your health and fitness, and hopefully you'll find that fun along the way. So it has to be something outside of your normal school curriculum that Amanda was saying, but it could be anything from joining a yoga class, the gym, skateboarding, wheelchair tennis. You can take part in pretty much any dance, sports, or fitness activity can count. Then we're thinking about skills. So skills cannot cross over to physical. You've got to be quite careful. Sometimes people might choose a sports skill, but you've already covered that with physical. But we can help you select a skill, whether it's coding to cookery. There's lots of online courses we can hook you up with as well. Learning new talents, or you might develop an existing skill as long as it's extracurricular that you love doing. And then the expedition is the bit where we help you. Those other three, it's up to you to decide, you to record your progress, and for you to submit your evidence through the DofE app. That's all done very remotely, and it's down to you. The expedition, though, we have set dates and we have set weekends and training events to help you with your expedition. And we'll tell you about those dates in a moment. But that would be you and a team of friends, generally 5 or 6 of you. You will plan an aim, a location, and you will make your own route, and you will spend 2 days and a night for bronze, or 3 days and 2 nights for silver, where you'll be completely self-sufficient, carrying all of your food and equipment on your backs. And that will be, again, an incredible achievement, but we will guide you through that, and that will take place in the spring and summer of 2022. And once you've done all those things, you submit all your evidence through a DofE app, and there'll be someone, your assessors, will sign you off, and then we'll have the privilege of awarding you with your DofE award and your DofE badge to go with it. If you do it through scouting, you get a badge as well. And then hopefully just a couple of months after that, you'll be able to top up your DofE to be able to achieve either that bronze or platinum Chief Scout award as well. So lots of top awards to achieve. I don't think we need to talk too much about COVID this time around, do we, Amanda? Is there anything you want to say about that?
Well, COVID isn't going away, unfortunately. There have been different ideas with doing the expedition slightly differently at the moment, and I believe that is continuing to the end of next year, so end of 2022. So with the expeditions, if we're doing silver, your bronze assessed expedition will count as your silver practice. And there's a few parents that have emailed me about that. They just want to finish their bronze, so they'll do the expedition for bronze. But if they've completed other sections in that bronze award and you're only waiting for an expedition, you can do the one expedition as a qualifier for bronze, and then count that as your practice for your silver. So they're making it a little bit shorter. But I think the messages with the COVID is watch this space really, and we'll see what happens. But certainly we got a good few expeditions done this year, and we'll try our hardest to get expeditions done again next year. You know, it's uncertain times, but we'll aim for them.
Absolutely. We won't talk about that one. because like I said, we're doing the expeditions, you'll get your full DofE. So how does it work and what's the welcome pack? I don't mind starting with this. So the great thing about doing DofE in 2021 is that a lot of it is done through an app. So you download an app, and once you're signed up, the sign up process involves paying a registration fee of around £24–25.
Yeah.
That will give you a username and password for the eDofE app. And then from there, you can actually record what you want to do for your volunteering, your physical, your skill. You can take photo to submit your evidence. It can all be completed through the app, which is really fab. And you also get your DofE card, which gives you lots of discounts to lots of outdoor equipment stores, which is a nice bonus as well. So the first step is to register for DofE, to get your username and password for the app, and then start choosing what it is you want to do.
So once people have signed up, they then have to go on to the, I think whether you can do this through the app or not, I don't know, but you certainly have to put your details into the website to confirm your name, address, and things like that. And then don't just leave it. Then put your goals on for your volunteering, physical, and skill, and start working towards it. Because often people sort of put these things in, of their name and address, and then we don't see them logging on for months and months. And then when it gets to the expedition, it's like, oh, I should have done something.
The best thing to do is to do as much as you can before the expedition. And when you do sign up, we know about it. As soon as you paid your fee and you appear in the system, we know about it. So we can then be in touch with you and invite you to the expedition events. So as soon as you're signed up, then we know you're there and we can start you on your journey and help you out. Why should people do DofE, Amanda?
Well, why not? No, it definitely gives you more employability. So popping it on your CV, it's a good talking point if you're thinking about going for interviews for colleges, universities, or even a part-time job. You know, people will see that there's something a little bit more about you than just going to school and plodding through and doing what you've told. You know, you've done something really amazing by achieving a DofE award. Not only that, it's apparently good fun. You'll build lots of memories, even if the expedition is really tough going and it's horizontal rain. You know, you'll have that sense of achievement that you've done something really amazing. It's good fun, and it says at the bottom here, stands out about in the crowd.
Yeah,
in college and university. Definitely.
I agree. So we need to go over what the commitment is. So we're going to give you a link to our website in a minute, and that gives you the process for signing up. But I would say step one is to see that you can make the dates for the expedition this year. And if you can, that's great, because then move forward and sign up. So you go onto eDofE and you can start through your skills, volunteering, and physical. But when it comes to the spring, and actually not just the spring, but actually this a little bit this side of Christmas as well, you would need to make sure you're available for all the following dates. And this will guarantee you to have your expedition completed in time. And then as long as you've done your part by working on your skills, volunteering, and physical, then you should be all set for achieving your award in time. So let's see what happens. So after tonight, we would say if you're excited about DofE, get signed up, pay the registration fee to £24–25 and get your login. That's the first step. And then on the 21st of November, we're going to have a support night, which is going to be in Southampton in the Scout Hut, where we are going to go through anyone who needs support. So this one is optional actually, but we're going to go through a bit more about how to complete your award, and anyone who needs support go through selecting your skill, physical and volunteering choices. So if anyone wants any help selecting what to do, then we will be there for you on the 21st of November. Then, so that's in about a month's time. Then on the 5th and the 6th of March, we're going to have a training day and navigation practice. So these are 2 days. We're not going to be overnight though, are we? We're going to meet on the Saturday in Southampton and then the Sunday in the New Forest. So the Saturday will be a training day where we'll give you all the training you need for your expedition. And then the Sunday is going to be some navigation practice. That's what we decided, wasn't it?
Yeah, because there's a lot to learn on the Saturday. There's a whole schedule of things that DofE require you to learn. First aid, emergency procedures, how to cook on a transier. Some of these things you should already know through scouting, but we just need to check that you're going to be safe and able to do an expedition on your own with no support from leaders.
Yeah.
So obviously you need to know what to do in an emergency, and how to do a transier if you've never used a transier before.
Yeah, so it is quite classroomy, but there was also a lot of practical elements in that as well. So that is a 2-day commitment in March.
And then again, navigation. Hopefully, as scouts, you've done some navigation and map reading before. Sometimes this gets a bit rusty, especially as we've had 2 years of lockdown. So that is really you guys putting it into practice, and as leaders, us making sure that you know which way to go.
Yeah.
Because it's a long expedition if you go the wrong way.
So you'll have all your training for your expedition. You'll have done some navigation practice. And the week after, on the 12th of March, again, we're meeting up in Southampton. We're hoping to get a secret location for this one, aren't we? Is going to be route planning and kit checking. So this is where you actually plan out your route for your expedition, where you're going to go, make your route cards, and also just checking your kit, making sure you've got everything. That is likely to take up most of the day. So we'll meet in the morning and that will take as long as it takes. But by the end of the day, you'll have your entire route planned out and your map sorted and all your kit ready to go. Then, depending on your level, so if you are silver, you guys have to do a practice expedition, which will be during the Easter holidays in April, so the 9th to the 11th of April. And then the silver will then do their assessed expedition, which will be in May. That is during the May half term. So silver, you will do a practice and an assessed expedition. And those of you doing bronze, you will do your assessed expedition in early June, on Saturday and Sunday, the 4th and 5th of June. Notice there's no practice expedition for bronze. So you go straight into your assessment, whereas silver have a bit more practice because it's a bit trickier and you have to. So a few dates there that you do need to make sure you can attend. But that should be it. You shouldn't, if you do everything in good time on those dates, you shouldn't have to do any sort of homework or anything else. You should be able to turn up to those events and get everything sorted for your expedition.
So we've had a question in the chat, Luke, about what happens if we work on a Saturday? What's your advice for that, Luke?
Get the day off. See if you can get the day off. It will be tricky. I mean, for the expeditions, that is set. We cannot change the expedition dates. I would say that the training is where you need to provide the training. I know that Hampshire Scouts did provide some online training. So there is a small possibility we could allow people to do some online training.
I think the answer is to check with us individually. If you are the world's best scout, you can tell us you know everything. We may be able to sort something out with the training, but obviously the route planning, you're going to be in teams. You are a part of that team, so you really need to be there. And obviously the expedition, that's your expedition. We can't assess people who aren't there.
This is why we're telling you now in October,
Yeah.
because this is still, you know, 8, 9, 10 months away. So well, the whole point is that you've got enough notice.
Yeah.
Okay, so where do we go from here? Well, hopefully by the end of this presentation, you're thinking, yes, DofE sounds great. I want to get this done. I want to do it. I want to get started. So we have a website, which is explorers.southamptoncityscouts.org.uk/DofE. That's where we keep all of our up-to-date information about DofE. It has a summary of what we've talked about here today. And most importantly, it gives you a link so you can sign up for your welcome pack. I'll just see if I can show you that very quickly. It won't let me follow that link, so I'm going to have to paste it in somewhere. Excuse me. So this is, So this is our website. So this tells you more about DofE that we've talked about today. It's got a summary of all the dates. And then there is a link for the registration. So once you know that you want to sign up, follow the link here where it takes you to a Google form. You need to fill out all the details. For Scout District, we are Southampton City. So be sure to write Southampton City as your Scout District. Put in your unit name or your Scout group name. We are either Griffin, Kraken, Phoenix, and Enterprise. So you should know which Explorer unit you're part of. Your leader's name. You can put in, well, you should put in Amanda, really. This is the website, or me, or you can put in one of your leaders' names. That'd be helpful. Parents' email addresses, and just keep going through. And on the next page, you can pay, and you will receive your welcome pack in the post. All the guidance is there on the website, so it tells you here what district to put in and what leaders to put in. There's also some links here to give you some ideas for what to do for your skills, volunteering and physical, and a link to the DofE website and login page. So that's it. That's all we have to tell you. And we have been talking a lot. So thank you very much for listening to us for so long. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stop sharing my screen. But if anyone does have any questions for Amanda or myself, feel free to write it in the chat or raise your hand with the raising hand feature, and we can unmute you to answer any questions. So we'll throw it open to you guys for any questions, but at this point as well, feel free to leave if you feel like you've heard enough. And thank you for joining us. So yeah, any questions? Let's see if there's anything on the chat. Would hiking with family count as a physical activity for the Bronze Award? That's from Julia.
Yeah, hiking with your family, it can be. Yeah. So on the DofE website, there are log sheets. So you could log where you've been, how far you've been, set yourself some goals of going further, faster.
Yeah, you need to show some sort of progress over time, really, as well, don't you? So as long as you can somehow record that. How about choosing someone to assess that, though, Amanda? If you were hiking as a family, could a family member be the person who signs up?
You can't really have your family member as an assessor, but if you do a detailed log sheet, then you can take that to your Explorer leader, have a chat with your Explorer leader, and your Explorer leader will be able to be your assessor for that. But they will need to see evidence of you making progress. Take a few pictures on the way. You can upload your evidence to eDofE, so everybody can see what a wonderful time you're having.
Yeah, that sounds good. We've got a raised hand here. It says Harrison, but I think that looks like Vicky. So let me just unmute you. I just...
I'm sorry, I joined late, so I might have missed the answer to some of these questions. So I'm presuming that if you've done bronze and you want to do silver, you've got to pay another fee to register again for silver. Is that right?
Yep. Once you've done bronze, that is your bronze award. Your fee for the bronze award is £24, and then your silver is another award. So they're
Okay,
standalone
thank you.
awards. Yeah.
And the volunteering you've done with your bronze, if you've done like your 3 months, for your silver, if you've got to do 6 months, for argument's sake, does it start back at 0 again? So it's then like a further 6 months, or can you tag an extra 3 on and get you 6?
No, you've got to start all over again.
Okay.
Which is why it's important to register as soon as possible, because as soon as you register, then it can start counting towards your next award.
So if you're still finishing up the last few little strands of bronze, can you register for silver, or do you have to wait?
If you've got at least 2 sections signed off, you can register for your next award.
Okay. Take my
So,
okay.
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, because often at the moment is people can do like the physical skills and volunteering and then can't do an expedition, but they can leave the expedition till expedition season but start all the other sections. That's perfectly okay.
Yeah, we weren't quite that organised. We didn't quite get in gear that way, but we've caught ourselves up nearly. But
well, we were all kind of chasing a bit because of COVID. We delayed the start. Normally we would start in October every year, but we had to start back in February. It was delayed quite a lot. So we understand that it's people still finishing off from before.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Next question from Sarah, Amanda. The question is there a way to do the expedition through school, but do the rest through Scouts?
Yes. Simple as. So if whoever holds the account, so if we can, as Scouts, view the account, so we hold basically that account. If the expedition's done through school, then they need an assessor's report given to the eDofE account, which would just come to Scouts. So, yeah.
And if you're
there's ways of doing it.
Yeah, and I think if you're doing it through your expedition through school, and you can, if you've already got an account with school, you might as well just keep it there. If you're doing an expedition with school, keep it with school. But if you want our support with selecting, say, for volunteering, if you want to help at a club group, and you still want our support, we're still here to help you. If you're an explorer or scout with us, you know, you're still one of us, and we're still happy to support you in any way. And once you get your DofE award, we can also help you top that up to your platinum or diamond award as well. So
yeah, I would also imagine if you're doing an expedition through school, they would want the payment to run that expedition. Obviously schools run slightly different to Scouts, so I would have thought that the school would want you to pay the fee to the school so they can run their expeditions. So it's probably easier that the account is held at school. But as Luke said, you can still do the young leaders for your DofE volunteering through Scouts, but it can be on the school DofE website. So
we've got some more questions. We might need to get through some of these.
Thanks, guys. That's really helpful.
You're welcome. We might want to get through some of these questions quite quickly because we still have quite a few to get through. So would football coaching and playing football count as a skill and volunteering?
Okay.
Yes, it would, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So the answer is yes, basically. So football coaching can be voluntary because if you're volunteering your time to help those that are less able.
Yep.
Football coaching can.
The football would be physical, though. If you were
playing the football.
Yeah.
Yeah, playing the football is a physical. If you're doing football coaching qualifications, then that's a skill. So if you see with your football, you can do it as skill, volunteering and physical. So the playing is physical. You can volunteer to referee matches for people less able, and the skill would be a coaching qualification. So this is why it's really important to check you've got the right wording in the right section. Yeah.
Okay. A question from Emma. For the bronze award, how could someone use skateboarding as an activity? That could quite easily be physical again.
Yeah. Again, we've had somebody that I think we've still got somebody that's doing skateboarding as a physical. So basically they're filling in a weekly log sheet of when they go to the skate park. They're setting themselves some goals to do certain moves. I won't pretend I understand any of the moves, but they've set themselves some goals, and they've found somebody, whether it's a skateboarding coach or something, who is going to be their assessor.
My top advice would be to get lots of evidence as well. So,
Yeah.
so try and get people to take pictures of you doing it, and that also helps too. And that would also relate to rollerblading as well. Someone said in the same way as skateboarding, rollerblading would completely count as well for physical. As long as you're doing it on a regular basis and you got like a log of that, then that would be very useful.
Yeah.
And we've got someone with a raised hand here, only known as H.
Hello, I'm Holly. Thank you for all the work you're doing to organise it all. Much appreciated. I fully agree and get that variety would be great and try lots of new things, etc., etc. And I sort of assumed that they couldn't do the same thing for bronze and silver, but suppose you did cycling. Like my son did, he wanted to aim to do a 100k ride all in one go, as well as doing it over time. So he did that for bronze. Could he then, I'm not saying he wouldn't necessarily, but could he then do and say, I'm still going to do cycling for silver, but for longer and aim at 150k? Or should you really change of what you're doing between bronze and silver?
No, perfectly okay to do the same thing. But as you rightly say, it should really set higher and tougher goals. Long as they're sort of progressing and, you know, trying to push themselves to achieve a bit more. Yeah, perfectly fine.
Or if they've done computer coding in one language, they could do computer coding in a different one.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. And likewise with the volunteering. I mean, if the youngsters are doing young leaders, they might start off young leaders with a bronze level with just, I'm going to turn up, I'm going to be a young leader. At silver, they might aim towards doing some of their young leader training and then
doing a bit of leading sessions and stuff.
Yeah, move on to achieving their young leader belt.
How old do they have to be to register for young leaders, and who should they contact?
So it's 14, and there is a young leader program. The chap who runs it is called Ian Redmill. Maybe this is something that Luke could also put up on our website.
Yeah, it's also on the website as well. So if you go to explorers.southamptoncityscouts.org.uk, click Young Leaders. It tells you more about it. You can register as a young leader there. So anyone who's thinking about doing that for their volunteering, you can register right there. It tells you where the meetings are, and there's an email address too. So,
okay. So I've actually got quite a shy introvert son, so I'd actually quite like to steer him towards doing something with some humans, particularly because COVID volunteering was online, so it'd be particularly nice to do some face-to-face.
But it is important that they do register with young leaders, because there's some important training that has to be done. It's called Modulate, and it's all about safeguarding. So to keep themselves safe whilst they're young leadering, as well as how to behave appropriately around the younger cubs and scouts. And if they haven't got their Modulate
on the website, thank you.
Yeah. That's great.
I think that's all the questions. So
Fabulous.
I think we're all good to go. Thank you everyone for joining us. We hope you had a lovely time. I hope you found it informative.
I look forward to being busy with all this. It's really exciting, especially after 2 years of being a bit quiet.
Yeah, we really want Southampton City Explorers to be one of the leading districts in getting young people achieving their Chief Scout Gold Awards and DofE Awards. And with the strong interest this year, we hopefully have many groups doing their expeditions, and we'll be able to celebrate with lots of you come the summer with your DofE Awards. So hopefully you've made the first step, and we look forward to seeing you all sign up and pay the small registration fee. We are much cheaper than the schools because we don't charge at all, apart from your membership fees and just the basic camp fees and the food that you need for your hikes. So yeah, we look forward to seeing you on those dates, and good luck signing up. Anything you want to say, Amanda, before we go?
No, thank you all, and we will see lots of you that date in November.
Yeah. See you soon.
Thanks so much.
No problem. Bye.
Bye.